Most people think strength is having the perfect comeback, the louder voice, the sharper insult, the faster reaction. It isn't. Watch two people in a heated argument. One raises their voice, the other immediately raises theirs. One interrupts, the other interrupts harder. Within seconds, neither person is thinking anymore. They're reacting. And here's the part almost nobody notices. Every time someone else can control your emotional state, they're temporarily controlling your identity. Because for that moment, their behavior decided yours. The strongest person in the room isn't always the loudest. It's usually the one who's the least reactive. Not because they don't feel emotion, because they decide what happens after they feel it. Today, we're going to talk about why non-reactivity isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming congruent. In a moment, I'm going to show you the 3-second buffer, a simple habit common among experienced negotiators that can shift the power dynamic without saying a single word. But first, we have to understand why your brain wants you to react. Human beings are wired for reciprocity. Smile at someone. They usually smile back. Raise your voice, they often raise theirs. Become defensive, and they become defensive too. Our brains naturally mirror emotional energy. Most people are mirrors. Anger touches them, and they become angry. Fear touches them, and they become fearful. Anxiety touches them, and they become anxious. The non-reactive man is a mountain. The weather hits him. He doesn't become the weather. That's useful for connection, but it's dangerous when someone else controls the emotional temperature, because the easiest way to influence another person is to influence their emotional state. Think about the last time someone insulted you. How much of the next 5 minutes belonged to them? How many imaginary arguments did you replay? How many better responses did you think of later that night? That's the hidden cost of reactivity. You didn't just react, you surrendered attention, and attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Here's something almost nobody practices. Between what happens and what you do, there's a gap. Most people spend their lives trying to eliminate it. Someone criticizes them, they defend themselves immediately. Someone challenges them, they fire back immediately. Someone insults them, they answer immediately. The non-reactive man does something different. He expands the gap. 3 seconds, that's all. 3 seconds before speaking. Not because he's trying to appear mysterious, because he's deciding whether a response even deserves to exist. Those 3 seconds communicate something powerful. I heard you. But you don't get to decide what happens next. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's proof that your emotions belong to you. This is where everything changes. The next time someone tries to provoke you, don't immediately ask, "How should I respond?" Ask something else. What does this tell me? Aggression is information. Sarcasm is information. Defensiveness is information. Impatience is information. Instead of thinking, how dare they say that? Don't think, it's interesting. What made that seem necessary? The moment you do that, you move into what I call the observer's position. You're no longer their target. You're their analyst. You're quietly debriefing the interaction while it's happening. And something interesting begins to happen. When people realize they can't get the reaction they expected, they often begin revealing more about themselves instead. Observation creates distance. Distance creates choice. And choice is where your power returns. Think of your emotional baseline like home. It's where you think clearly. It's where your judgment is strongest. It's where your decisions actually belong to you. Every day, something will try to pull you away from it. Social media, traffic, work, family, unexpected criticism, disappointment. None of those moments are interruptions. They're training. Every difficult interaction asks the same question. How easy are you to move? The more easily someone can move your emotional state, and the easier it becomes to predict your behavior. But something interesting happens when you stay anchored. People begin adjusting themselves instead. Calm is contagious, just like panic is. The person who refuses to panic often becomes the emotional reference point for everyone else. Here's what most people misunderstand. Non-reactivity isn't emotional suppression. It's emotional ownership. You still feel anger. You still feel disappointment. You still feel hurt. The difference is, those emotions stop making decisions for you. You don't become less human. You become less predictable. A man who always explodes is easy to manage. You just poke him. A man who always argues is easy to manage. You simply disagree with him. But a man who might stay calm, might smile, might ask another question, or might quietly walk away is much harder to predict. And what people can't predict, they struggle to control. Most people think power comes from controlling other people. Real power comes from controlling access to yourself. Not everyone deserves your anger. Not everyone deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves an emotional response. Every time you refuse to become the emotional reflection of your environment, you strengthen your baseline. The world becomes less capable of pulling you away from yourself. That's why the mountain doesn't fight the weather. It simply refuses to become it. Eventually, other people stop trying to shake someone they can't move. You don't have to win every argument. You don't have to answer every insult. You don't have to prove yourself to every person who misunderstands you. Sometimes, the highest form of strength is refusing to let someone else decide who you're going to be for the next 5 minutes. Protect your baseline, protect your attention, protect your identity. Because every time you stop borrowing someone else's emotions, you have a little more attention left to build your own identity. Tell me in the comments. What's one situation where you stayed calm when everyone expected you to explode? And how did it change the outcome? And if you still feel like you're reacting to a past that isn't yours, watch The Invisible Inheritance. Because you can't become non-reactive to the world until you've settled the argument you've been having with yourself. I'll see you there.